Hello everyone, welcome to Frank Puzzles. This is a new channel where I'm going to share my love of puzzles with all of you. My goal is to post at least one video every day, and I hope you enjoy watching my puzzle solving and listening to my thought processes. Now, onto the puzzle. This is a 1-star, 91% I believe, in Logic Masters Germany. And it's called German Beetles. And here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means that you have to put the digits 1 through 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Each digit along a green line differs in value by at least 5 from its neighbors, sorry. So along this line, which we usually call German whisper lines, that means each consecutive digit has to be at least 5 away from its neighbors. So for example, if this, say, is a 9, that means these two digits have to be a 1 or 1, 2, a 3, or 4 in both of these squares. So that's German whisper lines. White crop key dots separate cells with a value difference of 1. So for example, if this is a 2, that means this has to be a 1 or a 3. Black crop key dots separate cells with a value in a ratio of 1 to 2, and there are no negative constraints for either of those. So black crop key dots, okay, there are no black crop key dots here, but that means that if there was a black crop key dot, imagine there was a black crop key dot between these two squares. If this was a 2, this would have to be a 1 or a 4. Now, since the rule has there are no negative constraints, that means that I don't understand really why they added the black crop key dot rule then. Anyways, this doesn't really make any sense, but usually if it says it can have a negative constraint, which means that implies that basically if there are no black crop key dots in the puzzle, that means none of the squares can have a 1 to 2 ratio. But since the rule says there's no negative constraints, then that doesn't make any sense. So I don't know why they have the black crop key dot rule there. Anyways, on to the next rule. Two cells separated by an X sum to 10. Two cells separated by a V sum to 5. And there are no negative constraints, same thing. That means these two cells could add up to 10, but because there's no since there's no X there, that doesn't imply anything, if that makes sense. I'm not doing a very good job explaining, but basically X means that, say this was a 3, this would have to be 7 because they would have to add up to 10. Okay. And then same thing with a V. If this was a 3, this would have to be 2 because they have to add up to 5. Digits in killer cages are distinct and add up to the value in the left upper corner of the cage. So that means these two digits have to add up to 14, these two digits have to add up to 14, these add up to 12, 12, 14, 14, etc., etc. Thermometer lines strictly increase in value from the bulb end, which means that on this line, this is the bulb, So say this were a 3. 3. This would have to be greater than 3 because it would have to be strictly increasing. So it could be 4, 5, 6, 7. Say this was an 8. That would force this to be a 9 because that's the only digit that's greater than 8. Okay? Thin gray lines without bulbs are palindromes and read the same in either direction. Sorry. So that means this digit is the same as that. This digit is the same as itself because it's a set of 3. And those are the rules. Anyways, let me restart and say, let's go. Okay. So, 14 can only be 5, 6, 8, and 9 in those. And we have all of them. 5 can never be on a German whisper line because 5 away from 5 is at least 0 or 10. So 5 cannot be in either of these, which means the 5 has to be either here or here, which means the 9 has to be here or here. So this cannot be 9. In addition, we know 6 cannot be in between 2 digits, right? Now, what I usually like to do with German whisper lines is if I know a color, I color the highs in red and the lows in blue. And the reds have to be next to blues, and the blues have to be next to reds. So we know these are blue. This has to be red. 6, again, can never be next to 2 on a German whisper line because 6 can only be next to a 1, and that's it. So this has to be 8 or 9. Oops. This has to be an 8 or 9. That means this has to be 5 or 6. So if this is high, this has to be a 7. Which means the 7 can only be next to 1 and 2. Because, yeah. So this has to be 3. Because 3, whatever this digit is, has to be 5 away from 8, both 8 and 9. So that has to be 3. This is 4. This is 8 or 9. And that's that. We have a similar thing here. So this is, again, 8 or 9. 8 or 9, 5, 6, 5, 6. So with the X, that means this is 1 or 2. This has to be the 8 or 9 that's here specifically. And same here. These are symmetrical. So this has to be 7, 4, and 3 also, because of the same properties. And this is 1 or 2. Okay, so let's remove the coloring now for these, because we know specifically what these have to be. So the coloring doesn't help anymore. But I like to color the German whisper lines in red and blue when I know it. Okay. This cannot be 3 or 9, so this is either 4, 8, or 5, 7. This can't be 4, again. The 5 cannot ever be on a German whisper line. So we know this is 7, 8. So we know this is hot, this is cold, these are hot, and this is cold. So, this has to be 7, 8, or 9, and this is 3, 4, 5, obviously. It can't be 3. So this is 4, 5, 7, 8. We have 4, 5, 7, 8, 4, 5, 7, 8. And I'm thinking that the lower right 3x3 box must be the same, right? The 3 cannot be here, 3 cannot be here, so this is also 4, 5, and 7, 8. Yeah, so it's the same, it looks like it's the same. There. So this is going to be 7, 8, 7, 8, 4, 5, 4, 5. This is a high also, and it's surrounded by 2, so it cannot be 7 and 8, and it can't be 6, so this has to be 9. 7 and 8, which means this is 1 or 2. In addition, yeah, this is 1, 2, or 3, 1, 2, or 3. So this has to be a 6. Because of that, first of all, we know this is 8, so that has to be 2. This is 8, this is 6, then we have 9, 5, 1, 2. So this is 3, this is 1, this is 7, 5, 8, 4, and this is 2. So this is 6 and 8, 9, 5, 2 and 1, 2 and 8. So similarly, this is again 4, 8, 4, 8, or 5 or 7. It can't be 8 because we have 8 here, and that removes those possibilities. So this has to be 4 and 8. Since this has to be 4, this is 8. Again, this is high. We have 5 and 7. This can't be 5, so this is 5, this is 7. This is 1 or 2. Again, this has to be 9 because this is a high. So yeah, this has to be high. This is 1 or 2. And we have 2, 2, so this has to be 2. 1 and 3, so this is 3, this is 1, this is 6. Okay, so this is next to 8, so this has to be the 7. This is next to 5, this has to be 6. So we have left here is 2 and 8 here. This is 3 and 5, and we have 1, 4, 9. So if this is 10, this would have to be 1, 9, and 6. Because this is either 1 or 4, this can never be 1 or 4. So this has to be specifically 2 and 3. The 2 has to be here. This is 3. So that makes that 5, 8, 2, 3. The 2 has to be here by Sudoku. The 8 has to be here by Sudoku. This becomes 1, 6, and 7. But this can't be 6 or 7, so this has to be the 1, and since it's palindrome, that has to be 1 also. So this cannot be 1, this can't be 1, so this has to be 4 and 6, because it cannot be 1 and 9. So that's a palindrome, so this is 1 and 6 and 7. This is 1, 4, and 7. So the 7 has to be specifically here, so this is, wait, no, there's no 4, my bad. 1, what is it? 1, 6, and, oh, still 1, 6, and 7, so that's 7, either way. Again, this can't be 6, and since this is the same as this, because it's a palindrome, this has to be 1. So we got 1, 1, this is 6, and that's Sudoku, this is 6, and that's 7. So for this digit, it doesn't matter, it could be anything. This has to be 6 because it's 5 and 6. This has to be 4 because it's 5 and 4. And now the rest we should be able to solve by Sudoku. So that's 3. We have, let's see. My Sudoku actually isn't very good because I've been doing variants now for a long time. This has to be a 3 by Sudoku. This is 4. We have 5 and 9, 5 and 9. So this is 4, 5, and 9. This is 4, 5, and 9. That can't be 9, so it's 4 and 5. This is 5 and 9. Oh, okay. This is 5 and 9. This is 1 by Sudoku. We have 4 and 9 here, so this has to be 9. This is 4, so this cannot be 4. So this is 5, 9, 5, 9, which forces that to be 4. This is consecutive. This has to be 7. We have 5, which has to be here, and 8, which is here. So this is 9, 5, 9, 5, 9. This is by Sudoku 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 7, and this is 3. We're done. Anyways, see you next time.